good time zone, and a happy birthday to all of those around the world. Day 2 of Such is the Joy of Our Reunion. Let's just get into it. As soon as Arknights decides to load. Wabam. There we go. So hung up on the 60%. Irene and Swire banner. That's fun. Alrighty. Last time on Such is the Joy of Our Reunion, Lazy has brought Blaze to Baizhou, the capital of Yin, as part of her investigation into Blaze's father's death. Blaze's father was, I believe, an official in the Ministry of Rights and was assassinated a few years ago. But recent events have brought the case back into light and have pulled Lazy's interest. Specifically, Lazy's former mentor, Yu Chong, has taken responsibility for an arson case that destroyed parts of the Judicial Review Office's records. But the Judicial Review doesn't believe he really did it because he was in prison at the time, so at most he would be an accomplice. And someone else had to start the fire. Now, Lazy wants to look into the case and its connection to the death of Blaze's father. And why Yu Chung is taking responsibility. Just the whole thing. But her superior... Chun, I believe. In classic sort of law drama government conspiracy fashion, is like, don't look into this. I'm telling you nicely now, but if you pull my you know, if you start, don't listen to me, I'll make it in order. Meanwhile, you having restaurant troubles, owns a restaurant and buys out, has money troubles, isn't going to be able to pay off, I guess, rent this month, and so has begrudgingly decided to enter the Feast of 100 Delicacies. And if you can win, then he'll get a bunch of money. And that's that. That's that story. Stop saying the pull my, what is that idiom? I backed out of the idiom because I like completely forgot what it was, and I still can't pull my. You keep pulling my. I don't know. Gone. Malt sugar candy. Give the stove god malt sugar candy on the 23rd of the 12th lunar month. So he reports only the good things when he goes back to heaven. The time zone Kagan. Oh, and it should be said that, like, why Blaze is here specifically, I guess she's important in some way. Like, it's about her father, but also, like, she's important enough that Lazy's telling her to keep a extremely low profile. She's just here to have fun. It's high autumn. The courtyard is silent. Its long, thick walls prevent outside noise from coming in. It's empty, save for an old persimmon tree leaning against the wall in the shade, with its old crown extending over the top of the wall. No one knows what this old tree has witnessed over the years. We do know that since its planting, it has turned red, green, and red again as the seasons have flown by. Each year, bright red, fresh persimmons grow from its branches, and each year, these beautiful fruits wipe away old memories of previous harvests. The old man sits under the tree, sleeping in the shade. Ah, it's Ning Si Che. See, they mentioned a Ning yesterday, and I was like, I wonder if it's related to her. Grandfather? Grandfather? This guy's related to her, apparently. Okay. Sija, you're back. Actually, I think it's Cho, because isn't Cho... Yeah, Cho Bai has the same three, so I guess it's Si Cho. Assuming there's a pattern. Yes, I got delayed a bit on the way back, but thankfully, I made it in time for the Mid-Autumn Festival. I've been thinking a lot these past few days. I've been watching the persimmons grow redder and redder. I was afraid that if you didn't come back soon, we wouldn't be able to eat them together this year. I'm not sure how many more harvests I will live to see. But if you had come back any later, you may not have even seen me here. Grandfather? Ning Si Cho decides not to crack any jokes, as she usually would have done. She looks at the old man closely. He seems to have a few new wrinkles on his forehead this time. The autumn wind blows suddenly, ruffling the old man's hair. We completed our trial of Dao Hong's first mobile plate last month. I finished up my work at the Ministry of Rights for now, so they allowed me 2 weeks vacation. Nice. Hold on a second. Alright, sorry about that. There was like a weird stream thing setting happening on my side of things. Anyway. You've worked really hard. I heard about the goings-on in Dawong as soon as they happened. I've detailed all of my criticisms in my letters. I know you were involved in a disaster relief effort as well,
but every Yanese mandarin is duty-bound to protect the people. As an assistant minister of the Ministry of Rights, you must take responsibility for the poor management here. Deducting half a year's pay is letting you off easy. You have nothing to complain about.
Of course I shall not complain, and I take my errors to heart.
See, Cho, you must remember, do not focus on what you've already done. Focus on what you still haven't done yet. As a magistrate, you must carry out the orders of your superiors, while winning over and maintaining the trust of those below, citizens. In your position, everything you do is only what was expected of you in the first place. However, should you fail in even the slightest of your responsibilities, it would be an unforgivable transgression. If you do not understand this, you are not fit to wear your magisterial robes.
Devote all your energy to the cause, as that is all you have to give. I still remember your words, the words you taught me so many moons ago. I shall take this mistake to heart, but I shan't despair. Quitting now would really be shirking my responsibilities.
Yes. Okay, I've said enough on this for now. I'm not in your position, nor do I work in the Ministry of Rights, therefore I have no right to interfere. Now I am no more worried about your injury. Are you well?
Do not worry, grandfather. I recovered quite some time ago.
Broken bones takes at least 3 months to heal, so please take caution. In a few days after you get settled, take the time to go see a doctor. An old friend of mine gave me medicine patches. I'll give you some to take back home with you.
Very well, grandfather.
You kids are always making me worry. I'm just about to move back to my old hometown. My son and daughter never come to see me, and your sister is never home. Everyone's forgotten me.
What you say about my sister sounds true, but as far as you being forgotten, forgive me, but these past few days you've closed your door to all visitors.
This again. Kids these days, you don't have your priorities straight, do you? I haven't had a single moment of peace in this courtyard since the beginning of the last month. The youth today are clever. Dare not knock on my door to offer me wine or tea. Instead, they've started watering my flowers. Or my poor hydrangeas. I spent so long growing them, and these kids have already drowned 3 pots this year.
You've had many visitors lately. I'd wager the minister came and showed you the draft guest list of the feast, didn't he? It's rare to see the true lung even once a year. I'm sure many would treasure the chance to learn the latest court gossip.
I have no reason to meet the young lad. He's the minister, after all. What does he need my input for?
Come now, grandfather. You served for decades in the Ministry of Rights. Your achievements were many and your legacy secure.
That's all in the past. If we keep focusing on the past, how will we deal with the present?
Mr. Ning, you have a guest.
I told you no visitors. Who is it anyways?
He says he's an advisor of Human.
The advisor of Human. Never heard of him. I don't care who he is, I said no visitors and I mean it.
Grandfather, wait a moment. Might the visitor be here to see me?
Good sir, our master is not accepting visitors right now. Please come back another time.
Ineloquent man, is it this guy? Please tell Ning, your master, that an old friend is here.
Sir, no offense, but judging by your age, are you sure you're an old friend of the master's?
It's true. I dare not make up stories.
Sir, please be on your way. The master is not accepting any guests right now. If you really are an old friend, then I'm sure you wouldn't want to cause trouble, would you?
Mr. Liang. Do you not recognize me? Miss Ning, it's been a while. I heard you just returned to Baizhou. I wanted to see you. Liang Shun's eyes shift from Miss Ning to the figure standing behind her, the kindly old man.
Don't just stand there, Zichou. Invite your friend in for a bit.
Well.
What's the matter? Why isn't anyone eating? I feel like the third wheel here, and an old one at that. Maybe I'll just step away for a moment and the two of you can enjoy your meal.
No, you've got it all wrong. It's us young kids who are intruding on your magisterial greatness. Grandfather, don't scare him like that.
I'm only kidding, Liang Shun, I assure you. When Zichou was in Shangshu, she used to write me letters, talking about a magistrate there who was both supremely talented and dedicated to his people. Today I finally got to meet him.
When did I?
It's my birthday in 3 days. I wasn't planning to go through the trouble of organizing a grand party or anything. So today, eating dinner and chatting with the two youths is how I will celebrate my birthday.
Let us wish many more years of health and life to your greatness. Here, grandfather. Many happy returns.
Alright. Enough of that. Let us eat. Young Shun, I thought you were a magistrate from Shangshu. Why have I now heard you are the advisor of Yumen? And why have you traveled from Yumen all the way to Baizhao?
Yumen's journey was a long one, and the people once living in Yumen have been resettled in batches in different nomadic cities along the route as planned. The last group settled down in Baizhao a few days ago.
Wasn't Yumen patrolling the northwestern corridor? How did you end up all the way over here in Baizhao?
Dear grandfather, have you forgotten? Yumen changed its route at the beginning of this year. The new route it was traveling on took it right to Baizhao. As for why Yumen traveled to Baizhao, surely you remember that.
Yes, because of that same old problem again. All those years of fighting, and still no resolution. It's been so long since I retired, and sometimes I still hear those voices in my nightmares. And it gives me a headache.
Sometimes issues resolve with the passage of time, other times they get worse. Now I think we need to find a way to solve it, grandfather. Do you have any ideas?
Me? Of course not. If I were to try to intervene, people would accuse me of being a dictator.
Not necessarily. The minister has been coming to see you every few days or so. He never mentioned this to you. Miss Ning, there are some things which your grandfather must keep private, you know.
My granddaughter sure is direct, that's for sure. No matter, I am an ordinary citizen now. I am free to speak as I please without fear of divulging secrets, because I do not know any secrets. As for this matter, however, I must defer to the advice of the young. Well, Liang Shun, what is your solution?
I dare not propose any grand solution, however, there is one thing I do know. The best strategy is to disrupt your enemy's strategy. From the court's perspective, war has no upside, only downsides. From the people's perspective, war means death and destruction.
The best strategy is to disrupt your enemy's strategy. That makes sense. But if we always followed this reasoning, the True Lung would not have started the Great Hunt 1,000 years ago, and Yin would have never experienced a millennium of prosperity.
Times change, and circumstances change. It's hard to compare those things across different historical eras. That war 1,000 years ago was called the Great Hunt, but it wasn't really a hunt. It was the Yinese people wresting their future from the hands of the gods. Retreating even just a little bit would have resulted in their extinction. However, things are different now. We are operating from a place of strength. We can and must avoid war at all costs. We cannot allow our soldiers and civilians to suffer any further.
Very well said, young man. You are far more skilled than I ever was, that is for sure.
Goodness no. Forgive me for being so bold, your magisterial greatness.
You say war should be avoided, and I agree. Well then, surely you have an alternate strategy, right? A way to get the situation under control?
Aye.
Mr. Ning, another visitor has arrived.
What is it this now?
He says she's a deputy minister from the Judicial Review Office with urgent business to discuss with you. She insists on coming in.
Oh no. The Judicial Review Office.
I suppose I will have to let her in. My sincerest apologies, but I must excuse myself for a moment. Citro, please continue chatting with our guest here.
A deputy minister? You don't think it's Lin Qingyan, do you? Do you know her too? Anyone who deals with Tianqi bureaus have at least heard of her. I have heard Bai Ding Shun, the Blue Thunder Count, is senior to her Shifu. She's skilled in Lei Fa and solves cases as quick as lightning. But I am not sure why she has come to see my grandfather. You waited until I was asleep and locked me in this room. Why? I'm not a 3-year-old, you know. Let me out of here. Damn it. I'm supposed to meet that lady now. I didn't get her contact, so I can't call her. What am I gonna do? No, I can't break the door down. They might kick me out of here, and then I'd have no place to stay. Crazy that the door is locked on the outside in this place. But this window. I'm on the 18th floor, huh? That's not that high. Alright, I'll jump.
Miss, you've been standing here for ages. Are you going to make a purchase or not?
Sir, let me ask you again. This purchase here, or this painting here. Springtime in the Garden. Is it truly a original work by Xu Jian?
Miss, you can ask anyone around here. They all know my shop only sells authentic goods. I certainly know how to spot fake paintings. Look at the techniques, the essence of the painting. Who else but Chu Zhang could have done that?
I am no art expert, but I see a serious anachronism in this painting. These grapes on the table here, this particular variety of grapes was not introduced from Gaul into Yen until the year 628. However, this painting is from the year 580. How do you explain that?
Wow, she must really know her grapes. Aren't grapes all kind of just look the same? Oh, come on now. That's not a nit. That's quite a nit to pick, isn't it? You're just trying to bargain down the price, aren't you? I've seen your type so many times before. I'm warning you, you won't like me when I'm angry.
Good sir, I've never intended to buy your painting in the first place. Why would I try to bargain with you? Besides, what I've said about the grapes is true. Don't take my word for it. Look it up if you don't believe me. If you think I'm wrong, then prove it. Get as angry as you want. It won't turn your fake painting into a real one.
If you don't want to buy it, then why are you standing here? I swear to you, if I'm selling any fakes in this shop, may heaven strike me down where I stand.
Why is there a canopy above the upper floor?
Blaze, why did you jump when there was a person underneath you?
Blaze, how did you... I'm not late, am I?
Her voice still isn't quite right. I just can't, for some reason, I can't get it.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I've had so many guests visiting lately. Apologies. You are...
My name is Lin Qingyin. I am a deputy minister with the Judicial Review Office. I came here to ask you a few questions, Mr. Ning.
The Judicial Review Office, you say? I haven't talked to anyone there in many years. I'm not even sure who's in charge anymore. Is it Yu Chung?
Yu Chung? No, I'm afraid you're mistaken. Deputy Minister Yu is no longer working with us.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember. One of the Blue Thunder accounts lay for students transferred from the Tianxi bureaus to the Judicial Review Office. Well, that must be you, yes. I heard that Tianxi Bai was transferred back to Bai Zhao a while ago. Yet, he still hasn't come to see me. Not even for some tea or a bite to eat. I guess he doesn't have time for this old retiree.
These are extraordinary times we are living in. The Tianxi Bureau must be extremely busy. I'll mention it to the Count the next time I see him.
Sorry for going off on a tangent there. Please, sit down and have some tea.
They sit down in an elegant room that's tastefully decorated and furnished. There seems to be an empty space on the wall where a painting should be hanging. The part of the wall that had once been covered by the painting is a slightly different color, which makes it stick out even more. Mr. Ning, the tea is elegant, and so are you. Everything in this room isn't excellent, but something's missing. A painting, perhaps.
Yes, this missing painting is in fact a longevity painting that someone gave me many years ago. It's supposed to help you live longer. But as the saying goes, the older you grow, the heavier birthdays feel, and I believe it's served its purpose.
Yeah, didn't they? I remember now. Didn't they say at the restaurant weren't those guys gossiping about a painting being vandalized? I think it was at the Ning residence, so I assume that must be the missing painting then. I would not have expected you to be superstitious, Mr. Ning.
Growing old has left me at fate's mercy, hardly free to act as I wish. It must make you laugh, yes.
But I heard that a thief tampered with one of your paintings recently. They sealed the lips of the painting with honey. It's an old folk custom to celebrate the new year, but they did this. They do this in hopes that the stove god will only say good things and not bad things. Whoever the thief was, they had some other motive in mind besides theft. But they also didn't steal anything. I'm not sure why we keep calling him a thief. Why did you not report this vandalism?
If I never reported it, then how do you know about it?
One of my colleagues is handling this case. I saw the case file, but the one who first reported it, I don't believe it was anyone from your estate.
Well, I'm glad there's at least someone out there who cares about an old man like me. I would not have expected you to believe in those folk tales, Deputy Minister Lin. I am a mere citizen. You, on the other hand, are a mandarin, and your time is valuable. You came here today to ask me something. Just go ahead and ask me directly.
I came here to ask you about someone, not something. Do you remember an individual named Gu Chuan?
Ugh.
Ten years ago, Gu Chuan accompanied some Yinese dignitaries on an official visit to Victoria. They encountered a catastrophe, a blizzard, along the way, and poor Gu drowned in a river. Have you any memory of that, Mr. Ning?
Yes, how could I forget? I believe it was December. It definitely happened in the winter. By the time the news reached Bai Zhao, it was almost the new year. I remember the messenger told us that after the storm came in, the envoys got trapped on the mountain. Gu Chuan stayed at the back of the line, helping shepherd everyone across the river. In the end, he was the one who ended up falling in. The river must have been freezing cold.
It looks like the incident made quite an impact on you.
Gu Chuan was a very good worker. He served the ministry very well. He was very well read and had excellent calligraphy. It's a pity he had no family. The only remnant of him in the cenotaph in a cemetery of the virtuous. Every year the Ministry of Rights sends someone to tend it and pay their respects.
No family.
Look at me blathering on again. Well, anyway, why do you mention Gu Chuan?
A Yinese diplomat dying in a foreign country. That is a major international incident. According to the laws of Yin, both Yin and the other country must send experts to conduct a joint investigation and compile a final report. However, after Gu Chuan's death, the Ministry of Rights did no such thing. Even more startling is that the Judicial Review Office's records of the case are remarkably sparse.
I am confused. This is clearly a question for the Judicial Review Office. Why are you asking me? I was in the Ministry of Rights.
Well, then let me remind you. 2 months before the team left on their mission, Gu Chuan was just an ordinary 9th rank Mandarin. How did he suddenly get promoted to envoy, much less be sent on a mission to Victoria? Well, you are the one who signed Gu Chuan's transfer order. At the time, you were the Minister of Rights.
Now I understand. You are saying that I deliberately arranged for Gu Chuan to go on a diplomatic mission to Victoria and then disposed of him.
No, that's not what I'm saying. There is something strange going on here. I intend to solve these cases one by one, and I humbly ask for your guidance, Mr. Ning.
Since you're so curious about this, why not ask me a few more pointed questions? Do you think it's odd that I, as a foreign minister of rights, would trouble myself over a mere 9th rank ceremonial officer? Are you implying that perhaps that he had discovered some unspeakable secret about me? So you're just here to ask me about a 10-year-old case? No matter. No matter. Ask whatever you wish. Just remember, if you keep asking the same questions, you will keep getting the same answers. What kind of answers do you want?
Truthful ones.
I already have one foot in the grave. What reason do I have to deceive you? Then again, if you suspect me committing so many crimes, then you surely don't view my testimony as credible.
I just want you to tell me why Gu Chuan was suddenly transferred. Once you tell me that, we'll be able to figure out the rest of it.
Okay. You came all this way to see me, so I think I should tell you what you want to know. Gu Chuan was indeed transferred for a reason, because he specifically requested it.
He wanted the transfer.
Yes, he said he was ill and was afraid he didn't have much time left, so he wanted to return to his hometown in Victoria, live out the rest of his days, so I agreed to let him join the delegation to Victoria.
His hometown? I thought he was Yanese. I thought Blaze said her father was Yanese and her mom was Victorian. What illness did he have?
I'm not clear on the details either. I only vaguely remember that Gu Chuan did seem to be in poor spirits around the time.
I mean, this does make sense. Either he lied about the illness because he wanted to go see his family, or he was ill, and that's why he wanted to go see his family. Either way, like, that checks out. But as such a low-level Mandarin, Gu Chuan would not have had many opportunities to even meet you. How did he make such a request?
To be honest, it's a bit embarrassing, but there was a hint of selfishness on my part as well. Gu Chuan had magnificent penmanship, so I sometimes had him write letters for me, so I asked him to serve as my children's calligraphy tutor. He had done so much for me, I felt I owed him a favor. Besides, I did not feel his request stemmed from greed. That's all there is to say about Gu Chuan's transfer. Do you have any other questions for me?
Since I heard it directly from you, I'll take what you're saying at face value. However, I disagree with one thing you said.
What?
Anyone who wants to know the truth, be they Mandarin or an ordinary citizen, does not need a special reason for doing so. Please know, Mr. Ning, that I am indeed only after the truth, and I have no other motives. Now I shall take my leave, sir.
Good day, madam. Say, where is Ling Shun?
It's rather late, grandfather. I saw the young man out hours ago. My word, you invited him in to have dinner and then you had him wait there forever. It is a poor way to treat a guest.
Yes, where are my manners? Tell him I apologize, and please let him know that he's welcome to come back any time. Next time I will be a proper host, I owe him that much.
Liang is a reasonable man. I'm sure he'll understand.
By the way, his name is Ling Shun, right? Which Shun is that? How do you write it?
It's that Shun with the 3 dots on the left.
Ah, that one in Shunmei Choyi. A spray of spring gifted to you. Such a beautiful name. I'm rather fond of it. I've heard that many have the 3 dots in their name characters are as clever and swift as water.
Funny, the others all say he's as dull as a board.
The old man walks to the table, picks up a pen, and adds another name to the invite list.
Maybe he is rather dull. He came all this way to see his sweetheart, but look at the gifts he brought. Human's tea, some strange liquor called Le Daozi. These seem more like gifts meant for me.
Greatest love story in Terra, though. Lin Qingyan, wait.
Who's there?
Lin Qingyan gets a strange feeling she's rarely felt before. A woman with a sword advances within a sheng of Lin Qingyan, yet she doesn't even notice her until she's standing right in front of her. Oh snap.
Your uniform. You're an Imperial Guard.
Alright, the Imperial Guards look pretty cool.
No need to make a scene.
You know, I didn't change their you or Blaze's skill to try out their second one, but that's okay.
So long as you're here, have some hot soup.
Vanity pulls one's stupidity within range towards itself, causing it to lose HP proportionate to the distance moved when shifted. My goodness. Enemies that shift other enemies? Oh, they pull them really far, too.
俺の命だ。使い道は心得ている。正義を行い、不正を阻止しろ。
Guy's range too, which is a bit unfortunate.
わかりました。
正義を人には理解できないことがあります。この
Tough to swallow, huh? Try to
Ow.
behave yourself next time.
俺が決人には理解できないことがある。この世には金で買えないものもある。
戦のための歌、悲しみを紡ぐ歌。私に戦場に積もる恨みはいつか散らぬ。
正義人には理解できないことがある。
万物を一元に収めるはシャシャ楽々の境地にこそ。
All oil into a hot.
動くな。これより
砂に沈み、相思未だ報い。
俺が決人にしろ。手を逃げられ。
砂に沈みて、相思未だ報い。
Got a funny one for it.
万物を一元に収めるはシャシャ楽々の境地にこそあれ。
Moving to designated location.
Oh, goes over there too. Ah, perfect. Wow.
I like this like shopping district music. Blaze, what do you think of this one? Not bad. What I mean is, do these tangerine cakes taste like the ones you remember? Well, not exactly. They're still not as sweet as the ones I had before. They also don't have quite the same mouthfeel. And that's strange. This place uses traditional cooking methods. Their snacks are definitely authentic. They haven't changed their recipe in 100 years. 100 years? How have tangerine cakes even been around that long? No, tangerine cakes aren't quite that old. But many famous Baizhou snacks do have quite a long history. The tangerine cake you're looking for were actually invented by a scholar who came to Baizhou to study in its early years. The scholar's hometown was famous for tangerines. After he moved to Baizhou, he missed those tangerines. It was too far to go home and getting them. So he improvised. He smashed up whole tangerine peels and made them into dough, adding some sugar, shortening, and spices, and baked them. It was a cheap, easy way to get his tangerine fix. He gave the recipe to his landlord in lieu of paying rent. He even wrote a small poem about them. These tangerine cakes are bright and fresh, just like the orange groves back home. After the scholar passed and the imperial examination and assumed office, the tangerine cakes became very famous. People began to view them as a symbol of homesickness. Yeah, interesting. Symbolic food, the first time I ever heard something like that. Yin is a vast land, with many different climate zones, each with their own cash crops and produce. That's why there's so many different types of Yenese cuisine. You can trace all of the Yin's history throughout its food. They said the scholar passed the imperial exam and assumed office. Did Blaze's father invent tangerine cakes? Although I don't think tangerines would be native to Victoria. Although he's not from Victoria. Although that guy said his hometown was Victoria. But he wouldn't be Victorian. He would be Yenese. And considering tangerines are a citrus fruit, they would probably be native to Yen. Just not near Baizhou, I guess. But they're saying maybe that's why maybe Blaze is used to the original recipe. For example, Yin's 4 major cuisines match up with the 4 great restaurants, which predate Baizao's transformation into a nomadic city. Cities develop, but flavors remain. It would be odd to find any snack without its own bit of history behind it. One of my colleagues told me that there are many different kinds of tianxis in Yin. You know so much about food, you must have some kind of tasty food tianxi, right? If there really was such an individual, someone who could use arts to transform stones into vegetables, that might be worth studying, eh? Alas, I am just an amateur foodie. I like to take notes on the food I eat, and its history. Over the years, I've compiled several notebooks full of such information. To put it another way, Blaze, if there really were a better recipe for tangerine cakes out there, surely someone here would know about it. But I'm telling you, the ones I had when I was younger, they were sweeter and just better. That really is rather odd. Traditional tangerine cakes emphasize the fresh essence of the tangerines, not the taste of their pulp. Very little sugar is used, because tangerine cakes are supposed to be a light snack. You're telling me you've eaten such sweet tangerine cakes, and I'm telling you that I've never heard of such a thing. Maybe we can ask one of the chefs around here to try cooking up a batch with extra sugar, so you can compare.
And before Blaze's mom just, like, put sugar on it.
But even if they do that, it doesn't prove that the sweeter variety of tangerine cakes ever actually existed before. What I want to know is, how did the taste of these tangerine cakes change during their journey from Baizao to Victoria? I'm sure there's a story there somewhere. It seems you're just as much of a foodie as I am. I was afraid you'd get tired of traipsing off to all these restaurants. You're the guide. You lead, I follow. Alright then, let's keep looking. My word, look at the time. We should have lunch first. Lunch? Yes, it's lunchtime. Shouldn't we have some lunch? But I just finished eating snacks from 5 different restaurants. Snacks are snacks, but lunch is lunch. You must have a proper lunch, you know. I don't think my tummy has any more room for lunch. Oh, I know one restaurant that I guarantee won't make your tummy ache. Will you give it a try? You're the foodie here, so I and my stomach trust you. What's wrong? I feel like we're being followed.
Well, you did land on a guy's stall. Or Yu's following you.
You're an Imperial Guard. I don't know who, I don't see any, I think she has a tail, but I don't know what else. I don't see any ears. Unless that, like, thing is an ear? In which case she might, kind of maybe it's like a dog ear? I'm not sure.
No, no, no. Without dark steel armor, I am not a proper member of the Imperial Guards. Officially, I'm a captain serving with the Lin Guards. Deputy Minister Lin, I doubt you'd want to encounter anyone wearing dark steel armor anyway. Certainly not in broad daylight.
I mean, her armor looks pretty dark and steel, but I guess it's not dark steel.
I once heard from Tai He mention...
That's not her voice.
I once heard Tai He mention that there is a junior drill master serving in the ranks, the Imperial Guard apprentices. She's very young, but skilled beyond her years. That must be you. You're the junior drill master.
All the voices are getting mixed up.
Huh. I guess Tai He's still sore that I beat him in a couple matches last month. There's no need for name calling, though. No matter. I'd like to ask you, what are you doing here? I'm investigating a case. Does that case have anything to do with the former Minister of Rights? Has the Judicial Review Office issued you a search warrant?
I like Lynn's eyebrow raise face that they have for her. It's great. Unamused, skeptical.
You're a drill master. You have no authority to question whatever warrants I may or may not have, do you? You have no authority to question my authority. Just answer my questions, please. Very well. I heard you were on a long business trip recently. You left Baizhou for a while, did you not? That's right. I went to go question a witness in an old case and update the case files. What old case, and from when? What witness? Why are you investigating it now? I don't understand your line of questioning. If Lin Guards want to investigate the Judicial Review Office, I'll go submit the necessary documentation immediately. If that still isn't enough for you, I can have the Minister of Judicial Review Office report to the Lin Guards for questioning. My questions have nothing to do with the Judicial Review Office. They only concern you, Deputy Minister Lin. So you went to investigate an old case. What did you learn? Too much time has passed, so the trail has gone cold. I didn't learn anything. Nothing, really. Are you sure? Nothing. All right, I believe you. However, remember that you are speaking to the Lin Guards here. Your answers carry great weight. Very good. I'm done discussing official business for now. So you still have some personal business you wish to discuss? Tai that dumb Forte, told me he doesn't have many friends in the government. Well, You count as one. Well, I must warn you, don't stick your neck out too far. Your worries are unfounded. I'm just pursuing the truth here, as it is my job to do. I'm not putting myself at any additional risk. Very good. Give Taihi my regards. They're questioning why I'm here. Well, why are the Yulin guards here? Their presence here, I think, is proof that I'm on the right track.
It really is a classic. A classic story.
Phew. Boy, I'm stuffed. I never would have guessed that a roadside stand could make such amazing wontons. They're certainly better than the ones in Rhodes Island cafeteria's freezer. I'm so stuffed that I want to just take a nap right here. After eating all that greasy street food, a nice, hearty bowl of wontons is the perfect thing to settle your stomach. The famous restaurants need no introductions. As your guide in Baizhou, I figured I'd share some of my favorite, lesser-known food spots. Well, I'm lucky to have found such a good tour guide, thank you. Well, I'm also glad to have found a culinary companion. I tend to eat alone, which means I can only order 1 or 2 entrees for myself. You know what they say, the more the merrier. Now that I'm here, you can order as much food as you want. Speaking of food, what is in these wontons anyway? They're fantastic. Just meat and celery, the key ingredient is the soup. Most places use shell-beast caviar in wonton soup to enhance the flavor. Unfortunately, the fininess of the caviar crowds out of the flavors.
I kind of want caviar.
This place uses soybean sprouts instead. This makes a milder soup, which allows the flavors of the wontons to shine. The meat filling of the wontons is fresh beast belly.
You know, I don't know if I mentioned this yet. They said beast belly, but it's like, what beast? All the animals are called beasts, so like, which beast is it?
After the wontons are cooked, the bits of fat will naturally seep into the soup. These wontons are light yet delicious. They are made of high-quality ingredients which are hard to find elsewhere. Well, these wontons... Do these wontons have a history? Do tell. Not really. I just really like this particular wonton shop, I guess. When I get writer's block, or need a little pick-me-up, I come here and eat a bowl of wontons. The shopkeeper has been making wontons her whole life. She used to own this shop together with her husband. Her husband fell ill and passed away, leaving her to raise her child alone. Later, her son joined the army, but he died in a catastrophe up north several years ago. She's still running the place all by herself. She says she wants to continue this family legacy and preserve their authentic taste. What a sad story. There are many such sad stories. There is no joy without pain. Over the years, I have been coming to this shop. I have helped a lady with an errand or two. In return, she told me her family's secret recipe. She hopes that one day, after she's gone, I can pass on her craft to the next generation. I have something I want to ask you. Are you really going through all of this trouble with the tangerine cakes just because you made a bet with the young chef? Why do you ask? I simply noticed that you weren't terribly focused on the taste of the delicacies at all. It seemed like you had some other purpose in mind. Was it that obvious? Wow. When you watch people eat, you see into their souls. Sorry, I was just curious. If I've intruded on your privacy, I sincerely apologize. Hey now, we're friends. I'm not keeping secrets from you. You're right. I'm not really that concerned about the bet. Those tangerine cakes, well, my father used to send them to me when he was living in Baizhou. Your father, was he Yanese? Whatever. I don't have anything to hide from you. I grew up in Victoria, and my father is Yanese. One year, he suddenly returned to Yin for some reason. I never saw him again, and he died over a decade later in the land foreign to me. I'm sorry, Blaze. It's not your fault. Why do you keep apologizing? I don't think much about it at first, but yesterday when you mentioned that sweet tangerine cakes are unusual, I thought, someone who knows how to make those cakes might also have known my dad. Your dad was also... He was also... what? Oh, nothing. Well, I promise you that I will do everything in my power to help you find out the truth about your father.
Was also what?
You're such a contradiction, so bold when you eat, yet so refined when you speak. When we're eating together, it's all good fun. We're good friends. Why do you turn into such a different person as soon as you put down your chopsticks? Friends. And another thing, why are you helping me look for these tangerine cakes in the first place? Well, I'm writing a book. Most cookbooks today only contain recipes from renowned chefs. Yet the streets and the countryside are full of unique delicacies that few people ever pay heed. I hope to collect all of these recipes in a book. Perhaps years later, people will read these books and learn of Baizhou's unique cuisine. It's just a silly dream of mine is all. And also... What? I think I'll keep that a secret for now.
Well, as long as we're all out and about, you might as well take me to a few more places, eh?
Sure. Where do you want to go?
Let me see. This letter mentions the Virtue Bookstore, the Humble Garden, and the Baizhao Academy. Hey, what does this word mean?
Can you let me have a look? This is a letter. Why is it so greasy?
Nah, I didn't do that. It was like that when I opened it. I don't know what my dad was doing when he wrote it.
So these are all letters that your father wrote to you?
Yes, the few that I managed to save.
Strange. This stationery, it's...
What is it?
Nothing. It's just that most of the places mentioned in this letter no longer exist.
Huh? But it was only written a decade ago. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Huh? The Academy doesn't exist either?
For Baizhao, a decade is enough for the whole city to change. Have you noticed that anything has changed since arriving in Baizhao?
Well, aside from the food, there are all these energy poles all over the place. It seems like kind of a waste.
It may seem wasteful, but in fact, we have no other choice. The city of Baizhao was founded a long, long time ago. At that time, Yin had just experienced a great war, and the country was in dire straits. However, suddenly an extremely rich oranginium vein was discovered right next to the ruins of a battlefield.
Wow, what impeccable timing. You Yinnies sure are lucky.
No, it wasn't luck at all. The oranginium vein was rich, too rich. It attracted too many oranginium particles in one place, which eventually led to catastrophe. Basically, not only was it difficult to mine, but it also created a vast stretch of land that was prone to catastrophes, and there was nothing the Yinnies could do about it. That is until one of the Tianjis had an idea. They could build a city right on top of the vein. The city infrastructure would deplete the excess oranginium energy, preventing further catastrophes.
You can do that? Building a city on top of an oranginium mine, that sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It was indeed an extremely dangerous undertaking, however, the True Lung decided to go ahead with it, and that's how Baizhao was founded.
How did they do it? I can't even imagine.
Honestly, I'm not totally sure either. In all the Yinnies history books, there is only a single passage that talks about that period. Skilled individuals were sent to the disaster zone, and after 53 years of effort, a city was built and established as the capital. The city was named Baizhao, with the hope of tending all cooking stoves under heaven. As for the more advanced technical details, you'd probably have to look at more of the materials from the Tianxi bureaus. They're beyond my area of expertise. To this day, Baizhao government still encourages us to use this energy. Baizhao is constantly changing. That's how these skyscrapers appeared, as well as the numerous nomadic city plates.
And what happened to the people who built the city? I'm completely stuffed. But I still haven't found the taste I'm looking for. Definitely dead. Well, it was like 1,000 years ago.
I've taken you to every restaurant I know that sells such cakes. Maybe tomorrow we can go look in some of the larger restaurants.
Burp.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? You looked the whole day, yet you couldn't find your so-called authentic tangerine cakes, could you? You were following us all day. You were afraid we'd find better food, weren't you? Me afraid? Pah. I already told you before. If you're looking for the best chef in Baizhou, you've already found him. If I can't cook it, no one else can. Blaze, I've tasted his food. It really is quite excellent. A rare treat. You really know how to flatter her. Besides, you're arguing over the details and how a single pastry is made. How could that possibly be standard for judging a chef's skill? Still, I can see that you, chef, are still curious about these sweet tangerine cakes that Blaze is talking about, are you not? Not really. How about this? You two set aside your bet and we'll see where we can find these sweet tangerine cakes. That way Blaze will find the tangerine cake she's looking for and you, chef, will learn a new recipe. Sounds like a delightful arrangement, no? What? What about my 1 month of free meals? Huh. My cooking skills are so superb that no one can match them. But there are other chefs I respect. If I had to name one in particular, it would be... Well, it would be... Who? The head chef of Dinfeng Wulo, the highest rated of the 4 great restaurants. You mean Mr. Mo Bufu? Everyone at Dinfeng Wulo is busy preparing for the feast of 100 delicacies. That means the old man is preparing for his last feast. His last feast? You mean he's retiring? Who knows? The old man's been challenging people left and right lately. Really showing off. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's go! It's not so simple. Chef Mo is quite an important man. He's responsible for the entire feast. We can't bother him with trifling matters such as some tangerine cakes. The girl is clever, but she's only half right. If you really want to go meet him, I have a way. Last month's receipts? No, not in this pocket. Ah, here it is. An invitation to Dingfeng Lo Chef Selection. Blaze, we won't get many opportunities to meet Chef Mo. Well, then what are we waiting for? Whoever's going to be to the competition, take me with you. As to who will participate in the competition. What are you looking at me for?
Medical team, please take tissue samples from the infected.
Are we sure this is a soy storyline and not just a cooking storyline? Blaze is gonna enter a cooking competition? Blaze is the MC, but even her storyline is crime drama. That doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the Fahrenmutts. Also, how is Blaze gonna win this competition? Oil splashed, hand pulled noodles. Some dough gets firmer the more you beat them. Skill 2 immediately deals 100 attack as arts. Teleports enemies to him. 2 block. A lot of HP, a lot of attack. Deals arts damage.
I won't fight for nothing. But for the right price. I'm in.
Skill 2 attack range changes. Attack interval increases. Plus attack. 3 enemies at once. Loses HP. That's a burning field, reducing movement speed. Doing burn damage.
There's something I want to try. Send me out on a mission, Doctor.
Oh, you came to the library too. What a coincidence. Hello, you. Are you here to look up some case files? Just grabbing some books to put under my pillow. I haven't been sleeping well lately. Maybe some reading will help. How I envy the life of a student. Their brains are filled with books, not worries. Surely you're joking. I'm not joking at all. Investigating these sordid cases for the Judicial Review Office every day is bound to make one feel sick. And they say that Bai Zhao Academy Library is the cleanest and purest place in the world, where only wise men and sages dwell, so I'll sit here for a while and purify my soul. Did you used to study here at the Academy too, Gu Chuan? That was many years ago. I still haven't achieved anything yet, academically, since I graduated from here. I feel unworthy of the Academy's prestige. But I was fortunate to meet a great teacher here, and that experience will benefit me for the rest of my life. Who is this teacher you speak of? No longer with us. Then why did you come here today? To borrow books? I'm here to look up some case files. The Ministry of Rights is preparing for a grand celebration, and we need to refer to some old rituals. I'm a Deputy Minister of the Judicial Review Office. Do you take me for blind or merely illiterate? That thing you have in your hand is clearly the case file from the 15 years ago, when the Grand Preceptor committed treason. You know that file is top secret, right? You really have some gall. I have nothing to hide. I am indeed looking for materials related to that old case. I think there may be more to it than we realize. If you think I'm doing anything illegal, then by all means have me arrested. What are you blabbering about? Did I say I was going to arrest you? I was only saying that it's quite a coincidence because I'm also very interested in that case. It's kind of crazy that they named another character Yu in the same event that Yu is introduced. But I don't think they've called Yu yet. I don't think they've said his name at all.
I learned a lot from our debate today. However, I still maintain my own views about the new reforms. I'll have to do more research on this.
It's fine. This campus is plenty large enough to accommodate a wealth of different ideas. If my arguments have not convinced you, then you should not force yourself to agree with me just because I'm a teacher. The students of this academy must focus on real-world issues instead of getting lost in theoretical or ideological musings. Bullshit. A clock hangs on the top of an ancient building. The minute hand ticking as the shadow of sunlight moves slowly. The bell rings and soon students start pouring out of their classrooms. A lone figure moves against the tide. The guards fail to notice the unfamiliar face amidst the crowd.
Good day. Do you need some help?
Hello. How do I get to the archives where the students' files are stored?
You mean the registrar? What do you want with those files?
I'm a new assistant lecturer. The professor wants me to organize the graduates' files.
That's odd. Which professor?
Professor Jing. He teaches military theory at the college affiliated with the Ministry of War. She's teaching classes all day today, so she asked me to do this errand for her.
Oh.
What's wrong?
Go straight down here, past the main building. Turn right, and you'll see the Bingshun building. That's it. You better get going. Trust me, you don't want to keep her waiting.
Dosha. The first rule of any restaurant is that once you enter the kitchen, the chef's words are law. If you want to win the contest and meet Mo Bufu, you must follow my instructions to the letter. Do you understand?
I just don't get why he doesn't do it himself.
I guess it's all just for the tangerine cakes.
Yeah, didn't we agree to split the prize money 70-30? Why are you acting like I owe you a favor?
Okay, enough of that. Didn't you say you wanted to learn a few new recipes anyway? Have you changed your mind?
No, I want to do this, but I'm no Rhodes Island 5-star chef. This competition sounds too difficult for an amateur like me. Why don't you go instead? Good question.
I am the head chef of Savers at Use.
See, they have said his restaurant, which is Savers at Use. But they haven't actually said he is you.
Participating in this kind of competition would be sullying my good name. I'm giving you an opportunity here. As my apprentice, you can go show your skills and wipe that arrogant smirk off Mo Bufu's face.
Wouldn't Xingju be a better choice? She's a foodie, you know.
I'm afraid that, as the wandering foodie, I'm too well known. It would be inappropriate for me to participate in a food competition.
Enough chit-chat. First things first, to get you ready for this competition, let me tell you a little about Ding Feng He. I've been hearing about this place since I first stepped foot in Baizhou. What's so special about it?
Remember I told you about the 4 great restaurants of Baizhou, corresponding to the 4 main branches of Viennese cuisine, that is, north, south, east, and west. About 400 years ago, several chefs arrived in Baizhou. They each set up their own restaurants and culinary sects. This marked the founding of the 4 main branches of Viennese cuisine. It was the first head chef of Ding Feng Lo who promoted the founding in the first place. The legendary chef's name has been lost to history. He was the founder of Northern cuisine, but was also proficient in the other three styles. The three other chefs were only invited to Baizhou after they lost to the Northern chef in a cooking competition. With such a sordid history, Ding Feng Lo outshined the other three restaurants and became known as the #1 restaurant in Baizhou. Who's teaching this class, you or me? Oh, my apologies. Of course, what she said is pretty much accurate. The only thing I'll add is that eventually the 4 great restaurants of Baizhou started fighting with each other for fame and glory. These squabbles continue to this day, and they're really quite annoying. I thought Baizhou was a place where all great chefs could learn from each other. If I had known there was going to be all this infighting, I would not have gone. Not have gone where? In any case, what you need to know is that as the most famous restaurant in Baizhou, Ding Feng Lo is its chef selection competition has extremely high standards. Ding Feng Lo has not taken on any new disciples in many years. The only reason they're hosting this competition now is because they suddenly got short-handed right when they needed to start preparing for the feast of 100 Delicacies. But I also heard that Chef Mo is advancing in age and still hasn't found an apprentice to take over his business. The format of the competition is different each time, but there is one requirement that stays constant. Each chef has to showcase their best dish. Wait a second. If the competition is really that difficult, how can I ever hope to win? The logic should dictate that an amateur chef with absolutely no culinary experience would have little hope of winning. However, you have me in your corner. I can teach you a recipe that is easy to cook and is perfect for the occasion. Longevity noodles. Longevity noodles? Why would they serve longevity noodles at the feast of 100 Delicacies? The reigning Chulung's birthday just happens to coincide at the Mid-Autumn Festival, so every year they serve longevity noodles at the feast. But it's such a simple dish, is it really appropriate for a major competition like this? Who told you that simple dishes can't show great skills? Just watch and learn.
What was that sound effect?
What's that smell? That smells wonderful. What is it? What do you think? It's like magic. Really only used the ingredients you showed us before, nothing else. Fresh cell beast meat, mushrooms, scallions, bok choy.
Oh, that was Xingju saying that.
It's a recipe with basic ingredients, but the result is truly amazing. Sometimes the true skill of a chef hides in unseen places. There's more to this bowl of noodles than meets the eye. Another chef can use these exact same ingredients, but if the ratios, the heat, or the cooking time varies just a little bit, it'll taste completely different. Do you know how long I spent perfecting this recipe? Don't just stand there. Dig in. Oh, wow. I take back any criticism I had for your food. You just inhaled it. Did you even taste the flavor? If Blaze can actually replicate that taste, maybe she really can meet Chef Mo. But are you really up to the task, Blaze?
You know what? I don't think Lazy's gonna be happy that Blaze is entering a very high-profile competition.
Figuring out the secrets of this recipe would be difficult indeed, but simply following its steps should not be too much trouble. Have you ever cooked anything before? Of course. Ah, that's good then. Now, I'll give you the recipe and explain every step for you. Follow them exactly, and you'll be fine. Yeah, great, I'll study hard. I won't disappoint you. Didn't you say you know how to cook? The instant noodles are already pre-made. How should I know how to knead flour into dough? You really are a hopeless case. You haven't even taught me anything yet. How can I teach you anything? You managed to break 3 bowls just while kneading the dough. I can't risk you breaking anything else here.
Ayo. Be careful, these bowls are expensive. How can we afford to buy new ones? Oh.
Search Gu Chuan. Filter return from Victoria. No results. Why are there no records at all? Search Gu Chuan. Filter enrolled in 1076. No results.
Wow, they erased him.
Search Gu Chuan. Filter Ministry of Rights. No results. What is going on? Gu Chuan, an ethnic Yanese born and raised in Victoria, returned to Yin in 1074.
Okay, so he was born in Victoria, but he is ethnically Yanese. But that wouldn't make him Yanese. He'd be Victorian, he's just ethnically Yanese. So Blaze is pretty much not Yanese at all. Whatever.
Born and raised in Victoria, returned to Yin in 1074. Then in 1076, he was admitted to Bai Zhao Academy. After completing his studies, he joined the Ministry of Rights. These are the only records left for the deceased in that case. Why should they have? They should have the files for all Mandarins who graduated from the Imperial Academy and went to work in 6 ministries of the court. But why can't I find him in the system? Gu Chuin, what did you...
Professor, I was trying to confirm that with you. I didn't mean to ask you to come here in person.
You said she was a new assistant professor? Why haven't I ever heard of her before?
Well, the person who came here seemed to know you very well, so I didn't...
How many times have I told you? The Academy's personal files are confidential. Keep that in mind. Forget it. I'll go handle this myself. Oh no.
The room is empty and the documents on the desk are still where they were, without any signs of having been moved.
Qingyan, you're a bit too old to be playing hide and seek, aren't you?
Oh, she knows her.
Jing. Or I guess it's Ching.
Still not sure about that one.
Has the Judicial Review Office come to our school to apprehend some culprit?
Oh my gosh, why is Lazy blushing?
The office is investigating a case, so I've come here to collect a few old case files. Please, Jing, Professor Jing, please cooperate. Alright then. If you're here on official business, show me your official documentation. I rushed so quickly to get here that I left it back in my office. Really? Well then, I'll just have to call in to the head of the office. Wait a moment.
Professor, are you okay? Should I call security?
Gives a pleading look.
No, forget I asked some other professor here to collect some materials from me. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
It's not a problem. Goodbye, Professor.
Alright, now it's just the two of us. Shay.
Is Doshe different from Shay Shay? Because most people say Doshe. Although nothing comes up for Doshe, unless I'm spelling it wrong, which I could be. Oh, there it is. No, they both mean thank you. I guess one's just a different way to say it.
Ha. Qingyan. I've always thought that you were a well-mannered and trustworthy girl. Every time I mentioned you to Le, I told him to follow your example.
Wait, is this Zola's mom? That would check out, actually, because Zola calls Lazy auntie.
And look at you now. What are you here doing? A deputy minister from the Judicial Review Office sneaking around like this? I'm conducting an investigation. What kind of case requires this secrecy? What kind of case can't go through the normal process? A cold case. The deceased was once a student at the Baizhou Academy, but I just searched the personal files and found no record of him. The Academy has a record for every student. This person you speak of, how do you know they once studied here? I saw it in the files at the Judicial Review Office. The Judicial Review Office collects its files directly from the Ministry of Rights. However, the Ministry's files do not match up with the Academy's. Someone made a mistake somewhere. Is there a chance that someone altered the Academy's files? How could that possibly have happened? The Academy is one of the Yin's government's most important talent pipelines. Once a student's information is entered into the system, it is archived under strict supervision. No one has the authority to modify this data unless... Unless what? No, that's impossible. Enough of this nonsense. You'd better leave now. It's almost mealtime. Pretty soon lots of students will be crowding these halls. If anyone else sees you here... Also, please don't be doing something like this again. Mealtime. We need to go back to Baizhou to investigate. Why are you looking at these travel guides? These places, I've seen them in my dad's letters. Humble Garden, Virtue Bookstore. Oh, and when he was studying here, there was a Shangshu diner near the main entrance. He said that they have the best twice-cooked pork in town. Now that I'm visiting Baizhou, I want to visit all the places he mentioned to me. Say, is there a restaurant near the campus called the Shangshu Diner? What, you want the Shangshu food? Place you're talking about has closed more than 30 years ago. How would you possibly know about it? More than 30 years ago? What is happening? Is there some kind of crazy time travel involved? What's going on? Or was he talking in code the whole time? Sending coded letters that Blaze never realized something. "30 years ago. Are you sure?" "Yes, it closed in 1065 when I was in school. How could I forget it? Lots of students used to go eat there because it was a near campus and served tasty, affordable food. But then in 1065, there was a terrible catastrophe in Changshu, and the restaurant owner had to return home to deal with the aftermath. Students even made donations to help with the rescue effort." A man who was born and raised in Victoria and did not come to Yin until 1074. How could he have known of the place? Unless he visited Yin before, or maybe he wasn't born and raised in Victoria after all. Maybe he was a native Yinese. What are you mumbling about? If Guchuan's Ministry of Rights records were modified, but he was indeed a student at the Academy, well then, there would definitely be something worth digging up in the Academy files. What year was Blaze born? If we work back from there, does this system have the records of the students enrolled between 1052 and 1062? So, okay, so maybe he is actually Yinese. They modified the case to make it seem like he was born in Victoria, but he was actually Yinese the whole, like, truly
fully unease the whole time. You help me just this once. It's extremely important. Thousands of students graduate each year. You want to look through 10 years of records at once. Do you know how long that will take? The person in question worked for the Ministry of Rights. He probably studied at an affiliated college. That may help narrow the search a bit. The person you're looking for was not a high-ranking Mandarin. You may want to start at files after 1055. That year, the academy was restructured. It became a true public education institution instead of just serving as a talent pipeline for the government. The enrollment figure shot up. Look at that smirk. I see. Dolce. Go. You have only 2 hours. Found you. Gu Sheng, male, born in Lingyi in 1037, accepted into Baizhou Academy in 1055. He was assigned to the Education Department administered by the Ministry of Rights, and was among the first batch of students to enroll after the school was restructured. Top marks in all subjects. Wait, he didn't graduate. This file was updated in 1062. This is a missing persons file. Gu Sheng, along with his wife and daughter, disappeared in 1062. Accordingly, this file has been sealed. So he was already a family man when he was in Baizhou, and all 3 of them disappeared. 1062. Is there something special about 1062? Blaze, I need to confirm something. You were born in 1062 in Victoria, right? Yes, as far back as I can remember, I lived in Victoria. I asked you where you were born. How am I supposed to remember that? Gu Chuan, Gu Sheng. Xingyang, your time is almost up. You should get going. What'd he say? No good. The dough still won't do. Let's try again. But that's already my 20th batch. Don't worry. You have been practicing all day, and you're starting to iron out the issues with your techniques. Success is not far away. I'm really sorry. You don't need to stay here and here with me through all this. And no, it's not a problem. You've been helping me so much, I guess you must also be interested in the outcome of all this, huh? Alright then, just wait here for a minute. This time, I'm sure I'll do it, and I'll whip you up a nice big bowl of noodles for dinner. Did you have something else you wanted to say to me just now? Did she? A what? Never mind. To be fair, the recipe the young chef gave you was indeed simple enough. He probably didn't expect that your biggest difficulty would be kneading the dough. Look at you defending him. I'm sorry.
I'm doing all I can do. It's hard. And when I work, my body temperature rises and the dough starts to dry out in a few seconds. Add more water to the flour, and then more flour to the water, and then more flour and water, and the dough was originally the size of my fist is now almost as big as my head. The situation with your raising body temperature is certainly unique. Anyway, you need to think positively. So long as you learn to knead the dough, making the longevity noodles will be no problem at all. Speaking of which, for someone who has never cooked before, you certainly have some impressive knife skills. Well, back at Rhodes Island, lead operators like me perform surgery on ourselves in emergency situations. I guess there's not much difference between using a scalpel and a kitchen knife, assuming you're not using it like the young chef does when he chops vegetables. I can even use the skills I learned from the stitching my own wounds to mend my own clothes. I wouldn't have thought your job would be dangerous. Not a big deal. If you have the time to practice. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. Can't he just have more patience with me? Hey, look. I think you're getting the hang of it. The amount of force is just right. Keep it up. Now, I haven't even had dinner yet. Hold on to that anger. Pull the dough over and continue kneading. Right. You can get even angrier if you want. No, I can't get any angrier. Boy, the noodles he makes sure are delicious. No, why is cooking even more exhausting than combat training? I understand this is really hard for you. I don't want to deal with the pipsqueak anymore. Can I be your apprentice instead? You're a gourmand. You must know how to cook, right? Oh, spare me the compliments. I am nothing close to him when it comes to cooking. And you know, it's funny that I've never actually eaten longevity noodles before. They are just noodles, right? You tried so many different restaurants, how could you have never eaten longevity noodles before? I've been to many restaurants that serve longevity noodles, but it only makes sense to eat them on your birthday. I celebrate every birthday at home. They don't allow me to go out on my birthday. Weird. Okay, but even if you celebrate your birthday at home, your mom and dad never made you a bowl of longevity noodles? Actually, I've never met my parents. Oh, I'm sorry. Although I've never seen my parents, I still have other family members. Every year on my birthday, my family holds a big banquet for me. At banquets like that, I don't think they care much about longevity noodles. However, I've always been a little afraid of birthdays. Isn't it nice that other people remember your birthday? I can't really explain it. I always feel that every time I have a birthday party, I will be surrounded by a lot of people who want me to laugh and also to cry. But it doesn't seem to matter whether I'm there or not. Enough about me. You're from Victoria. Do they eat longevity noodles there? I grew up in Victoria, but my parents are both Viennese, at least by blood. I thought she said only her dad was Viennese. Okay, whatever. She's 100% true Viennese. I guess that explains why her name is 100% true Viennese. When I was little, every year on my birthday, my mom would make me a bowl of longevity noodles. The taste was nothing special. It was just regular old home cooking. After I left home and could no longer eat my mom's home cooking, I never forgot what it was like to celebrate a birthday. Or I even forgot what it was like. That is until that night.
When everything changed.
The seasoning packet, the vegetable packet, and I'll have 2 sausages. I heard the lights off in the cafeteria. Hey, what are you guys doing here? You scared me.
Keep it down.
It's late. What are you doing in the cafeteria at this hour? Ace, why do you look all serious? There's not an urgent mission, is there?
What are you doing here, instant noodles?
I stayed too long at the training ground this afternoon and didn't have enough time for dinner. What, now that I'm an elite operator, I can't eat instant noodles anymore?
No touches here, huh?
The captain isn't scolding you for eating junk food. He's saying, today is your birthday, and you're eating instant noodles. My birthday? But didn't Dr. Coutsett say...
That's why I told you to lower your voice. So long as we don't make too much noise, even if she hears us, she'll pretend not to hear, yes?
Every elite operator's here? That's nice.
I even suspect that she deliberately arranged for our fieldwork breaks to overlap, just so we could throw you a birthday party. Think of it as her way of giving you a birthday blessing, even if it's hard to imagine.
Blaze, you are one of us. As part of Rhodes Island, you are not alone. Thank you so much.
All right. It's almost midnight. Happy birthday, Blaze. Happy birthday, big cat.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Also, Amiya isn't on the ship right now, but she asked me to pass on the birthday wishes. She hopes you to stay happy and healthy. Oh, Bunny.
So, are you planning to come blow out the candles and eat the cake? Or are you going back to your instant noodles?
I guess not everyone, just those 4. The others are dead. The others aren't dead. Only 3 elite operators are dead, and they aren't dead yet in that flashback. That was the first time so many people celebrated my birthday with me. That bowl of instant noodles became my longevity noodles. Everyone knew how much I wanted to have a birthday party, but that day, not a single person actually came out and said, I knew you wanted this. They acted like it was just another one of my many, many birthdays. I liked the nothing special feeling of it. And now you're making me jealous. Oh, right, you said you've never had longevity noodles. Well, let me whip up some for you. But you haven't even learned how to knead the dough yet. I don't know how to knead noodles, but I do know how to cook ready-made noodles. I'll go ask Jang for some dried noodles that I can simply boil. Wait, handmade noodles, ready-made noodles? Maybe it really will work after all.
No need to make a scene.
You'll get what you deserve. I mean, what you ordered.
Got the situation down crystal clear.
So despite... Oh, diet summons one vapidity periodically.
Quickly, pour oil into a hot pot. The heat is just perfect.
Stay calm. Support incoming.
You know, it wasn't his pay break. That's my boiling blood turning the horizon red.
Moving to designated location.
All right. Wait. I was gonna say something, and then I started choking on my saliva. Anyway. Despite the conflicting information, I think I've sussed out what happened to Blaze's father. Using the information we saw at the beginning, and now that we know that both her parents are definitely Yenis, so Blaze was born in Yen with her family, and then they fled Yen. But I guess her father stayed behind. Or I guess he fled and then came back. Not sure about that. But he also had a different name. I'm not sure, like maybe he changed his name and then pretended like he was from Victoria and not from Yen. I'm not sure. And that's why the files are a bit conflicting. I wonder if
Patience from slow simmer on low heat. Patience is not optional.
guys, I really need someone up there apparently. 'Cause
When chaos abounds, tugging a single thread can pull the entire net.
Need speed to succeed.
Tiny may a candle be, it shall drive out the darkest night.
Patience, friend. Heat control is everything.
You know, step right up and taste my fireball's power! Mission accomplished.
So I wonder if Ning Senior, the Grandpa Ning, was actually trying to help him, maybe. But I'm also curious now because I remember that the beginning. Because I was interpreting the beginning because at the beginning it was like the True Lung. It was like a meeting with the True Lung, and they're talking about Yin Wu, who I thought was maybe Wei Yin Wu. And they were talking about a baby. And so I thought it was like lung stuff. But now I guess maybe that was Blaze? Which... Does that mean Blaze is like a princess? Do we have another royalty in at Rhodes Island? We have so many royalty now at Rhodes Island. But she's a cat, so I'm not sure what her family... Because unless the True Lung isn't a lung, which would kind of be weird. I'm not sure how the cat family is related to that. Early the next morning, the restaurant is still quiet, save for a few foul beasts jumping back and forth on the fallen leaves outside the door. The night watchman at the Judicial Review office lets out a loud yawn. The foul beasts take off in all directions. I had a nightmare last night that the Beck beast ate all the flour in my kitchen. How terrifying. Morning. Have some noodles. You figured out how to make them. Look at the bags under your eyes. Were you practicing all night? No, only about halfway through the night. Hey, Xingju still hasn't woken up yet. Enough talking for now. Try the noodles. You, huh. You gave up on learning how to knead dough and boiled some ready-made noodles instead? These are no ready-made noodles, or ordinary ready-made noodles. Xingju and I looked through all the ready-made noodles on the market and picked the ones we feel have a texture closest to your handmade ones. Of course, they don't have quite the same mouthfeel as a handmade noodles, so Xingju adjusted their soup-based recipe to ensure that they taste similar to the longevity noodles you made from scratch. This is blasphemy. You're using ready-made noodles, and you tampered with my recipe, my word. Don't jump to any conclusions yet, please have a taste. The young chef picks up his chopsticks and, with a giant frown on his face, pulls out some of the noodles. He carefully takes a sniff, then finally takes a taste. Well... Say something. Why did you two think this would work? Xingju was starving after all my failed attempts.
I figured at this point, I was better off just making noodles I knew how to make, so at least she'd have something to eat. Then I started thinking, the most important element of longevity noodles isn't the taste, instead it's making sure the person who eats them feels the birthday blessing. Some people just ain't skilled enough to make noodles like you do. However, I can still use ready-made noodles to bring birthday blessings to myself or my family. That's the true meaning of longevity noodles anyway. See how yellow and shiny these noodles are? They look more lively than yours, right? Of course, yes, I'm taking shortcuts with the dish. You mentioned birthday blessings. Do you think people can taste that in your noodles? I think so. Last night, after I finally made a proper bowl of noodles for the first time, I shared them with Xingju. We felt so happy when eating, I even caught Xingju wiping away tears. Swapping out the noodles and adjusting the oil and salt ratios accordingly. Quite some innovation there. Xingju sure has a sharp palate. But the ready-made noodles need to be rinsed with cold water after cooking. You rinsed them, but you didn't drain all the cold water out. The cold water lowered the temperature of the soup, which also affected the texture of the noodles. If you really want to make good food, you need to be mindful of these little details. Got it. I'll remember that. Wait, then you mean... Enough. I'm only continuing to teach you because I can see you've put in the effort. You still need to learn how to make your own noodles from scratch. You don't really expect to use ready-made noodles in the competition, do you? Yeah, great. As your Shifu, I'm glad that you've improved, but we still have to see whether the customers recognize your efforts. Well, what do we do? Later on, if anyone orders noodles, you'll make them. If the customer doesn't like the noodles, then you'll need to keep practicing. I'm on it. Hello, would you like to try our special longevity noodles?
It's not my birthday. Why would I want longevity noodles?
It's a new dish we're trying out. We'll give it to you for free. No, I meant if you try it and like it, then maybe you should still pay for it. I mean, I have to set up stuff with the boss, you know.
That's an interesting way to do business. Sure, give me the bowl of noodles then. Eager eyes. Do you need something else from me?
No. I just want to see how you like the noodles.
Okay, I'll give them a try. Man picks up one single noodle using his chopsticks. A single noodle? Wow. Then a piece of bok choy and some scallions. He tries them one after another. He eats with graceful manners, but somehow, in just a few moments' time, the entire bowl is empty.
What do you think?
Good. Even excellent.
Really?
The soup has a rich umami taste and the ingredients are top-notch. If you had let the soup simmer for another day or so, it might have tasted even better. But I was already so hungry, if I had tried to wait another day for that ultimate perfection, I would have starved. He wants to create the perfect taste, but the customer cannot wait that long. Even if I want to wait for him, there are some things I just can't wait for any longer. We're getting really philosophical there.
You're saying...
Don't worry about it. Just tell your boss what I said, yeah? The man stands up, the patterns of his clothes emit a strange glow. The light distorts and blurs his face so much that players cannot make out what he looks like.
Oh? Hey, you didn't pay.
Oh my gosh. Did not see that coming.
Just deduct the funds from my account.
There's the story.
Regardless of what you're looking for, after you leave here, do not tell anyone you got this file from the Academy. Do you understand? Yes. What's wrong? Do you have more questions? Do you remember that bloody case back in 1062? This isn't the sort of thing you casually bring up in conversation. I just happened to think of it. Is the Grand Preceptor you previously mentioned the one who supported the academic reforms, which benefited countless poor students? The same Grand Preceptor who murdered the Emperor that plotted treason 40 years ago. She has an accent now, that's not her voice. I'm not sure what's going on with her. I have no way to answer your question. I will never speak about things I do not know. I have never met the Preceptor in person, but I have read some of her writings on political and social issues. Her extensive knowledge, clearly reflected in her works, has been deeply enriching for me. But people are complicated and cannot be easily categorized. You're saying you're not completely convinced the outcome of that case was correct. Qing Yin, you're never good at hiding what you're thinking. I knew you would. The office archives will not house muddled cases, no matter how many people they involve. Solving these cases is my duty as Deputy Minister. I shall not dissuade you from doing as you see fit. However, you must learn to protect yourself, no matter what happens. Before your parents retreated into seclusion in the mountains, they entrusted me with looking after you. If anything were to happen to you, I would never be able to look them in the eyes again.
I thought maybe they were like similar ages, but I guess not. But she's older than Zola because Zola calls her auntie. Also, her parents just like became hermits? Question mark? We're just gonna become hermits. Take care of our daughter, please.
I am not a child. Why do I need people to take care of me? Everyone feels that way when they are young. However, as a mother, watching Zola grow up day by day, I feel a weight growing on my heart. What else should we parents worry about other than our children's safety? But if your parents learn that I prevented you from fulfilling your duties out of concern for your safety, then they really would blame me. Dosha, sister. You call me your sister, but in my eyes you have always been like a child of my son's generation.
Relationships going all over the place.
Speaking of which, Yumin is nearby Zhao now. Have you seen General Zhou at all over the past few days? Things are coming to a head. The Ministry of War is holding meetings day and night, and the General must remain on the front lines to oversee things personally. Neither he nor I can abandon our posts. There is truly no way to avoid this conflict. This isn't something I have the authority to decide. As an advisor for the Ministry of War, my job is to do everything in my power to accurately calculate the outcome of the war. Allowing any personal biases to affect my work would be a grave disservice to the people of Yen. You don't compromise in your duties, and neither do I. I hope everything goes smoothly. If the outcome is inevitable, it's best not to worry too much about it. If you are alone for the mid-autumn festival, come to my home for dinner. I will. Wait, I just thought of something. Didn't you just ask me who has the authority to alter the Academy's records? If that did happen once, although it was under extremely unusual circumstances. You mean... No, I can't say that the records were ever altered. However, the record has gone missing entirely. Then it must have been transferred to another location. Death Row at the Ministry of Justice.
Here he is.
Father's not here.
It's been more than 6 months since he was last here. The furnishings in the house have not changed. Only there are many more symbols symbolizing war on the sand table. A lone city in defiance, the two sides gazing at each other from afar. Lord Zoe. A thick, familiar voice rings out from behind.
Uncle Taihi, your injuries.
I was finally able to walk since 2 weeks ago, albeit with some difficulty. At least I am no longer bedridden.
Zola stares at Taihi, unbelievably, who does not look like a man he remembers. Also, I guess it's probably Tai-He. Now that I think about it. The wind lifts a corner of his cloak, revealing his thin, withered figure under his wide robe. Tai-He, once a man so strong and sturdy, is now emaciated, as if a mere gust of wind could blow him away.
Uncle Taihi.
Kung Fu is merely an external tool. I am, after all, still a monitor censor of the Department of Discipline and Supervision, and there will always be opportunities to realize my aspirations. If you continue to dwell on this, Lord Zoe, then you're only underestimating my skills.
No. Taihe, I know you're no ordinary man. A few injuries aren't going to stop you.
It has been over 6 months since we last met. You look stronger than before. The General will be pleased.
By the way, Father is...
The General has been in constant meetings with the Soy Regulator and the Ministry of War. He's barely had 10 minutes to rest.
The situation
Could change in an instant.
is the court still ready to go to war at all costs.
Now, after the incident in Da Huang, the bistro Soy is no longer under the Soy Regulator's control. There are many minor disagreements between the Cabinet and the 6 ministries, but their overall opinion is clear. Eliminate the threat once and for all.
But the consequences of this war will be... will be the siblings. Yeah, I heard that 1 month ago, other candle holders discovered traces of the convict nearby Zhao.
Yes, I heard the same thing. The Imperial Court is on high alert. They've already dispatched several units of Imperial Guards.
The Imperial Guards?
The convicts' unpredictability is currently the gravest threat we face.
I have a theory. Perhaps there is still another proxy in Bai Zhao. This proxy is the youngest and the most unique. According to the Soy regulator's observations, in the 100 years since he left this tomb, he has never used any of his powers. The Soy regulator does not know how to deal with him. There's only one thing that's a little suspicious. 100 years ago, after Wang escaped from prison, he came to Bai Zhao and has remained here ever since. Wang used to frequently interact with the other proxies, so I'm afraid that during his current return in Bai Zhao, the lone proxy who stayed here would also be part of his plan.
What do you mean?
I don't know yet, so I'm going to take a look and see for myself. He's never used his powers. That's interesting. Man just likes to cook. Nothing else. Phew, finished. What do you think? I've memorized every step, from washing the vegetables to serving the noodles. I can do this all by myself. Of course, that's all thanks to Xingju for figuring out a genius solution. I just need to dip my hands in ice water for a few minutes before kneading the dough, and it comes out fine. For a few minutes. It looks good, and I can taste the craftsmanship in the dish. It will do, even if it's far from perfect. If anyone could cook as well as me after just a few classes, then all my years of study would be in vain. Yeah, I just realized, surely Blaze has met the other siblings? Does she not look at this guy and be like, wait a second. You look kind of familiar. Like, they mostly look like Lung, but there are some differences from other Lung that we've seen. Namely, their hands. Hey, I've been working hard for so long, and tomorrow is a big day. Can't you at least say something encouraging? I just don't want you to get a big head, alright? Maybe you're right, a little pep talk might do you good. Otherwise, you'd be too scared to cook at the minute you meet Mo Bufu. Remember, there is nothing to be afraid of.
Mobufu's old. Show him the power of your youth.
Power of youth.
Okay. Everything's ready. Let's go win one at Ding Feng Lo tomorrow.
These small fry ain't even close to quelling my hunger.
I feel like the pacing on this one is that every level is like getting longer actually. Like they started off really short, surprisingly short, but it's gotten longer. Could do the next one though. You can even do 5? I don't know about that. Now hold your horses. There's no story on 5? That's crazy. Pickle, pot, herb, and mustard. Place the vegetables in the pot and seal the lid. You will know it is time when the lid can no longer keep the aroma contained. Try out risk taker. His other skill a little bit.
Prove fruitful.
Whisk levitates. I didn't realize he levitated people.
カメラの前に立った役に入りきらねばならない。
This is probably gonna take an hour, so I don't know if we'll have time for number 5, but we'll see. Welcome to Ding Feng Lo.
Wow, this place is... So this is the place everyone's talking about. Are you nervous? Heh, don't think I should be. The competition is nigh, and yet I feel apprehensive somehow. I mean... Nothing to fear, the young chef said it was fine. Besides, it's not like we're trying to be cooks here, we're just on the hunt for that legendary chef, right? Ask him for his tangerine cake recipe. Cold comfort, but I suppose at this point that's all I'm getting.
It's about time. All spectators, please remain here for now. Competitors, follow me.
If you get anything difficult thrown at you, don't bluster. Just keep calm and think. There's always a way. Relax, okay? I'll see you.
Please sit. While I know you're here for the exam, you're still one of our guests. Please, let me offer you some tea first. The examiner picks up the teapot from the table and pours Blaze some tea. Her nose is immediately filled with the fresh, sweet scent. It's also gonna be really weird if she wins the competition and then it's like, congrats, you can be my apprentice, and she's like, no, I don't want to be your apprentice actually. It's like, oh, now the entire competition was pointless. We have to do it again to find someone better. Waste all of our time and money and resources.
For a competition, you're all pretty friendly here. Well, I can't say I haven't been thirsty, thanks.
Blaze grabs a teacup and drinks it up. As she does, the examiner places a pen and paper before her. This is the pot. This pot of tea is infused with several ingredients. Please write them down.
What?
Blaze glanced down at her cup, not but a bead of tea left on the side. She looks up at the examiner, polite smile still plastered on his face.
Could I, have another cup?
Today looks like a bust to me. They've gone through dozens of people since morning and nobody's even passed the first stage. Yeah, our head chef's a bit too harsh on them. It's like a revolving door over there. No one can last longer than a minute. A chef's third eye is their tongue. If their tongue's not good enough, they can't be a good chef. So no point wasting the head chef's time if they can't even pass stage 1. May as well send them home sooner. Hey, excuse me, madam. This is the kitchen. Are you... What are you here?
Judicial Review Office investigation. If I could have both of your assistants. Yeah, keep calm, keep calm. What did the mechanist tell you? The human tongue only has 4 flavors. But the nose can tell between over 100. Not that I've ever smelled anything from his machine oil moonshine, though.
Blaze gingerly cradles her cooling teacup once more and takes a careful sniff of what aroma remains.
Smells flowery. That's probably jasmine. No, not just jasmine. There's a kind of chrysanthemum, just like the table tea at the young chef's place. Okay, aside from that, there's definitely a sweet sour kind of flavor as I drink it. None of the initial flavors were sour, so that was the aftertaste. Sweet, acid, and a little puckery, kind of familiar. Why'd you want me to try this plum wine anyway? It's a special here in Baijiao, you see. There's a plum forest north of the city. When summer sets in June and the plums are fresh and ripe, the people will pick them to steep in wine, ideally a Shaohuan wine. Wine made from mosoats like this just has a particular flavor to it. It goes perfect with plum.
I don't know what a mosawat is. And neither does the internet. Is it a typo? Literally nothing comes up. Fascinating. Guess we'll never know.
Steep it for about 3 months, and it's ready just in time for mid-autumn. Plum wine, huh? So it's got history. Earlier you asked me what happened to all the people we lost building Baizhao, right? I wouldn't say it's got history, really. It just strikes me, during those awful times back then, pickled plums were a worker staple. And some years after finishing Baizhao, that plum forest sprang up in the mountains north of us. No one knows exactly when it did, nor who planted it. So it's a way of remembering them, kind of. At least, they were never forgotten. Once the plums are ripe next year, we can go to the mountains and see together. Here's my answer.
Jasmine, chrysanthemum, green plum, Mount Tian, blossom, rock sugar, Shao, hin wine.
I've heard there's a plum forest north of Baijiao. The plums in June get brewed for mid-autumn. I'm guessing the plums in this were picked earlier than that, which is why there's still a mouth puckering taste in it. The alcohol steamed away while boiling the tea and left just the sweet sourness of the plum, plus the mild and subtle aroma of the flower. It wasn't obvious when I drank it down, but the aftertaste really stays with you. I'd really like another cup.
Identifying the first few flavors is reasonable enough, but you're the first one today who's been able to point out the use of Shaohuan wine.
So I'm right?
Are you not sure about your own answer?
No, of course not. Of course I don't,
Then congratulations on passing the first stage. Please follow me upstairs. From the rear hall sounds a gong and the door next to Blaze open.
First stage. How long is this thing?
Here you are, madam. The list of chefs at Ding Feng Lo. If you don't mind me asking, what are you investigating exactly?
The case is confidential. I'm not at the leisure to tell you for now.
Okay.
The head chef here, their name is Mo Bufun.
Yes, I don't think there's a cook in Bai Zhao who doesn't know of Chef Mo.
Do you know what his occupation was prior to Ding Feng Lo?
That I have no idea. Chef Mo arrived just under 10 years ago. Not quite a long time, but not short either. His cooking skills are the real deal. They're sublime. Almost straight away, he succeeded the previous head chef.
Where is he now? I need to see him.
I'm really sorry, but he's holding an exam right now. There's no way he can meet you.
Exam? What exam?
But you could call it an enrollment exam for Ding Feng Lo. It only happens once every few years. If you're interested, we're televising it right here.
That contestant. Blaze.
Yep.
Now this is... Isn't this a restaurant? How come this room is set up like a study?
In the centuries of history, Ding Feng Long has hosted countless reputed celebrities. We set aside this room to safekeep any piece of calligraphy or painting gifted by them. Delicacies, calligraphies, paintings, all of our works of art that take years of practicing. Blaze looks up and around, hundreds upon thousands of silk threads hanging from the ceiling, a wooden placard tied to each one resembling a curtain.
Are all of these names of dishes?
As you're no doubt aware, Ding Feng Long is hiring chefs in the run-up to the Feast of 100 Delicacies. This calls for cooks who are not just culinary skilled, but who grasp the significance behind the dishes we make. Every dish here originates from a past feast of 100 delicacies. Pick one placard and tell me the dish's history. That is today's second stage.
From the feast? How the hell should I know any of these? Whatever. I've gone this far.
Blaze closes her eyes and swipes one down. The neighboring placards clatter against each other as if an endless wind chime.
What's this? Medley of whites. Blaze barely knows how to cook anything. Passing the first stage was already a miracle.
Blaze, I heard that.
She spent basically her whole life in Victoria. How could she possibly know any of these stories? Blaze, I really wish I could help you.
You have a time limit. Do you know the origin of this dish?
About 50 years ago, give or take, Yin's Grand Preceptor presented the true lung with a dish, the simplest, plainest, fruitest radishes. But the special thing was the radishes she used came from all over the land, and each one had a massively different flavor and texture. What having been stewed for so long, they absorbed enough broth and are all equally tasty. I hear Yin's always put education first, but because of the country's so big, every city has wildly different circumstances anyway. The further out you go, the harder it is for students to really achieve. The Grand Preceptor was trying to tell the True Lung that every student, no matter their background, should have equal opportunity. The True Lung took the Grand Preceptor's advice, advocating hard for educational reform, tore down any regional restrictions, and brought equality to educational resources. Next year, when Bai Zhao Academy announced successful applicants, students from remote regions made up more than half of the 1,000 plus that qualified. In the decades after that, Tianxi's buried their bureau's books. The students studying like hell in their academies, all of them thanks the Grand Preceptor for boldly advising that, if I'm not mistaken, is what Medlia Whites represents.
I guess it's tradition and it's a recurring theme in Yin where government officials give the emperor food to send a message about some problem instead of just saying what the problem is. Blaze senses the spectators stop chattering. She's not wrong, everyone is nervously watching her right this moment.
How did Blaze know that? And why would the exam writer leave the name of this dish in there? You don't just mention her, not in front of everyone. Did I, say something wrong?
Interesting. The voice descends from a few meters above. Blaze stares up above her. Doesn't see anyone. A foot lands on a stair-step plank with a dull thud. Subdued yet powerful, the kind nobody could miss. It approaches closer and closer until Blaze can finally make out who it is, a stern and solemn man, far older than her, alighting from his long stairwell. It's Mo Bufu. After so many years, I didn't think anyone would remember this.
Nice to meet you.
The story you've told is far older than you, girl. How come you know of it?
Well, someone from my family told it to me a long, long time ago. He said he was one of those students in poverty all the way back then.
You know the spring of your water. I imagine your relative was a grateful and righteous man. But as for you, just what motive brought you here?
Well, I'm here to compete, of course.
Then as you've made it here, I'll give you one chance. Final stage, no frills, no fuss. Make me a dish. Come.
Too early for dinner time, the restaurant is almost empty save for a couple of diners. There's no waiters, no proprietor, and even the kitchen is quiet. Yeah, excuse me.
Oh, young man, help me out. I was in a hurry this morning and forgot my money. You're a well-to-do boy. Anyone can tell. Be a kind man. Spot me a little. Wild thing to say. Yeah. I'm not here to rip you off. Here, take this family jade for now. Once I grab the money later, I'll pay you back.
Yeah, not that I mind lending you, but couldn't you just tell the owner instead? We're total strangers. How would you find me and pay me back?
No. You see, this jade's not your average thing. It's not fit for just anyone to take. I'm only trusting it to you because I can tell you've got a rare air about you.
Alright.
Zola rummages for some loose coins in his pocket and hands them to the diner, whose face immediately broadens with delight.
Yeah. Well, where would you plan to meet me back? Where would we meet?
We'll meet if we do, and we won't if we don't. And if we don't, you can just go ahead and pawn this jade off. Relax. You've made a favorable deal today, young sir. Okay. So saying, the diner is gone out of the restaurant door in a blink, disappearing into the crowds.
Pawn it off. Here's my dish. Pretty good job, wouldn't you say?
Longevity noodles.
Mobufu's hand rests on the table, chopsticks in his grasp. For a while, silence before he finally picks up the spoon and tries a mouthful of soup. Blaze examines Chef Mo's face closely, but the satisfied look she's hoping for simply does not blossom across the old man's face.
These noodles. This soup base. Who taught you this?
It was this, little chef. I really put my back into learning it too.
The owner of Savor at Use? Who is he to you?
How come you know?
I thought so. The disgrace of him. I see he has talent and gave him the chance to display his skill. And he's not grateful for that fine, but now even sends an amateur to humiliate me.
What's happening? Blaze finished it up with no trouble. Nothing should be wrong with the flavor. Does Mobufu know the young chef somehow?
Wait, okay. Hold on. I'm sorry. I know you can probably tell I suck at cooking at a glance, but I didn't come here so I could wreck your competition. I just have a question that only you can answer. I grew up in Victoria, see, and this relative of mine who lived far away in Yin would always send me these tangerine cakes. They are so sweet and salty, or tasty, not salty. Sweet and tasty,
I've been on the hunt ever since I met Bai Zhao, but I still haven't found that flavor. I was thinking since you're the best chef in all of Bai Zhao, maybe you would know.
A single pastry. You thought it was worth entering this competition to meet me over a single pastry.
I have tons of other questions still, but this is the only one I can solve on my own. This is the one clue, the one link I have to my family.
Ew. The greatest taboo when making tangerine cake is to blindly add sugar. That is to mask the poorness of your craft and ingredients with sweetness. I don't know of anyone skilled enough to make tangerine cakes that are sweet and yet taste good on their own. You've asked your question, now go.
Oh, wait.
A muffled sound from above interrupts the two. Blaze and Mo Bufu look up at the same time, but both of their faces get struck by something wet.
Why is it leaking in here?
No, this is oil.
And at that moment she says it, the lamp suspended from the dome ignites in a blink of becoming a fireball.
Get out of here.
Now I remember there was a fire they mentioned at the beginning as well. Maybe that's why Lazy is there investigating. I was like, why is Lazy here? Maybe it's part of the fire story that we heard.
No need to make a scene.
So long as you're here, have some hot soup before you go. Patience, friend. Heat control is everything.
Forethought, unblockable. What's the for vapidity or stupidity? When full moves toward the derelict stove, when defeated spawns vapidity equal to the quantity picked up.
When chaos abounds, tugging a single thread can pull.
You know, I read can't be blocked, and yet I did not register that in my head at all.
わかりました。
Moving to designated location.
よしとしましょう。大砲の本質は己が内面と大地を一体化するところにある。
Roar. A word I've not heard in a long, long time. Flesh and bone bear weeds, mounds and ruins bloom fields.
Oh, the skin effect for Shu is really nice.
私に巡ってきたのかな。私に巡ってきたのか。砂に沈みて相思未だ。私に巡ってきた心に積もる恨みはいつか知らん。階級の凶悪を削除すれば干潮万物を一元に収めるわ。シャシャ楽々の境地にこそあれ。
If you're really in clear skies for tea.
空に積もる恨みはいつか知らん。
Watch out.
What even?
Flames burst forth above their heads, raining cinders down from the ceiling, igniting the flour and oil atop the stove. In an instant, the kitchen is a sea of fire.
Ugh. You, go. I'll be fine.
Cover your mouth and nose. Don't talk. I'm not too good at this move yet. Let's give it a try. Excuse me, just duck. Blaze grabs a knife and slices her palm open. Gradually, a whirlwind forms in Blaze's hand and expands straight outward into a blast wave. The violent surge of air sweeps the whole room. In a blink, she's put the fires out and strewn the cookware about in shambles.
What a skill you have. Could you be... Doshia?
You're welcome. Looking up again, Blaze sees the lamp's frame is charred black, red-hot metal peeking through the burnt coating, is on the verge of falling. Mobufu, move! Blaze grabs the old man's arm, trying to pull him to one side, but the lamp's already falling. With a stifled crack of thunder, the remains of the fixture are abruptly flung to one side and smashed harder against the wall.
Are you alright there?
Lazy, what are you doing here?
Maybe I should ask, what are you doing here? But we can talk about you later. Could this be a repeat of the Ding Feng Lo fire last month?
Lin Qingyan scans her surroundings. The kitchen chefs are in a frenzied jumble, but her gaze quickly locks onto a masked figure among them, who seems to have met her gaze, then turns and vanishes into the crowd.
Blaze, stay here. Keep Mobufu safe.
Hey, where are you going? Jeez, this smoke is killing me.
On that pillow there's a breaker.
There's a lot of them here. Which one do I pull? Spitting like a fowl, Lin Qingyan has her target cornered in just a few spry leaps. Mere meters separate them, but so smoky is the air that she can't quite make out their silhouette. Just as he makes it to run again, a thunderclap strikes next to his feet.
Hold it. Move another inch, and the next bolt is hitting your head. Answer my questions. Why set fire to Ding Feng Lo? Is your target Mr. Bofu or someone else? All the previous incidents, they were your doing too, weren't they? Also, the scrollery. You and your accomplices must have some aim in all these actions. What is it? Not talking. Then I'll take you back to the Judicial Review office for a nice long questioning.
Deputy Minister Lin, surely you wouldn't ask if you didn't know the answer already. Can you not see the truth, or do you simply pretend you can't because you don't dare to? What? The office is a good place, but I don't plan on visiting it for now. Besides, when your will wavers, the thunder you throw isn't so frightening. It's time you opened your eyes.
Wait.
And with that, the masked figure is on the move, just as Lin Qingyan would give chase. The ceiling sprinkler start up out of nowhere. Ice-cold water pours down, soaking her head to foot. Lazy, you're alright?
Damn it.
The customers are all safely out of the way. There's just a few in shock. Thank goodness no one was injured. We've reported it to the authorities. The Mandarin should be here any moment.
Don't we have a Mandarin here already?
Yeah, Chef,
I'm fine. I owe it to this girl. There's nothing left for you to do here. Go on. Go home.
Once the chef leaves, Lin Qingyin locks the door to the room. Mr. Mo, if I could have a word with you, or two with you.
You know this girl, madam?
She's a friend of mine. Chef Mo, she's on the trail of a really important case. Would it be alright if you, try to answer her questions?
Huh. I don't like what the Mandarins get up to, but I don't like to spurn a favor either. You saved my life today, that's more favor than I'll ever repay. Go ahead then, ask away.
I'm looking for one of your restaurant chefs. He's a witness in a case. I believe 10 years ago, he was working in the Ministry of Justice death row prison, making last meals for convicts. Chef that only makes last meals? How exactly did he pass the Din Feng Lo exams? Din Feng Lo serves all manner of mandarins every year at the Feast of 100 Delicacies. That means every chef's background must be clear as day for the record. I imagine he shouldn't be hard to find.
What exactly do you want me to say, madam? First, my restaurant catches fire for no reason. Now you say we have a chef who made meals for dead men. Should I even bother to open up Ding Feng Lo again?
I understand your situation, sir. That's why I'm choosing to ask you these things in private.
Whatever. It's not like I can't admit to my own past. The chef you're looking for, the death row caterer, Mo Xiao Liu. That was me.
What? I thought so.
And making last meals is nothing shameful. The powerful need to eat, and so do the powerless. My cooking skills come from that prison, making last meals for death row convicts from all corners of the country. As for changing my name and hiding my identity, I just didn't want to make any trouble for this restaurant.
I'm beginning to sort of admire you.
Okay.
Do you remember 10 years ago, a convict admitted to the prison by the name of Gu Chuen? If you don't remember the name, you should at least remember that some decades ago, he was the one and only person to be released from death row. What? Wait, you mean my dad? Why'd my dad get the death penalty? Blaze.
You mean Gu Chuen? He was your father.
Yeah? So you remember him?
I do. All too well. I spent so many years there making last meals. I've met countless horrific scoundrels, endless connivers. As each one of them ate before they left, the look in their eyes, it was always more or less the same. But I'd never seen someone whose eyes were so clear, so clean, so free of anything. He wasn't like the other convicts. In his time, he never wept, never howled, and never screamed injustice, not even on the day he was imprisoned. Even I found it strange how a man like him would end up on death row.
How would my dad? Then do you know, at the time, what charges Gu Chuen was sentenced to death on?
Not at the time.
Not at the time.
But 1 year later, when I joined Ding Feng Lo and began taking part in the Feast of 100 Delicacies, I came across a menu for a feast from a few years before. That was when I learned that at the feast,
Guchwin served a dish to the True Lung. It just so happens that was the same dish this girl pulled down earlier. Medley of whites. Alright. But next to that dish, she placed a steamed flour bun, and in it was a filling of red pickled tofu. So what does that mean? Why would he get locked up just for serving that? Then Qingyan, aren't you gonna say anything? Your relative told you the story of the Grand Preceptor, but never told you her eventual fate. Her fate? "40 years ago, the Grand Preceptor plotted to assassinate the True Lung. She committed suicide after it failed. Every single one of her underlings was arrested and trialed, and their numbers were over 1,000. When Gu Chuan served that dish at the feast, he signified redressing her for her treason. It made the True Lung furious. No way. My dad told me so many times the Grand Preceptor was loyal to the country, the people, the whole realm. How the hell would she be a traitor? The history books have it that way, yes. And they're right? And then Qingyun, if everything written in them is true, then what the hell are you investigating? And besides, my dad didn't actually get killed, right? Doesn't that prove, like, at least some people in the court believed the Grand Preceptor and my dad were both innocent? That's the sticking point, yes. If Gu Chuan was imprisoned as part of the Grand Preceptor case, why would they free him afterwards? It stuck with me too. You see, after entering prison, Gu Chuan had 2 visitors, and both are people I happen to know. One was a person delivering his meal, Young Chung, deputy minister of the office at the time, and the other was the one who brought him out, former Minister of Rights, Ning Shu. What? Yeah, I think maybe Ning Shu was trying to help him, like I said. Get him out of Yin.
Quick, this way! Surround the place immediately!
What's that? Damn it, why now?
You're meddling in affairs you don't understand, Lin. We warned you.
What a coincidence. One step ahead of me, Deputy Minister Lin. I just arrived. What a coincidence indeed. The Judicial Review Office is investigating the Ding Feng Lo fire. I ask all of you to be cooperative. Lin Qingyan and the girl next to you, come with me.
A unit never takes the same formation, as water never takes the same shape. Such extraordinary planning and execution. Doctor, I cannot fathom your past.
Doctor.
Very interesting. Yeah, so he's part of the coup. Or, no, he wasn't part of the coup. He... asked for redress. Not necessarily part of it. But is that why he then tried to flee? Is that when he tried to flee? I'm not sure the exact timeline. That was the fleeing scene at the beginning. I think it was 40 years ago, they said. So he angered the Lung by asking for the redress and then had to flee. Like, is that what we saw? But then he got arrested. He stayed and I guess got arrested, but then let out. Well, we shall continue this next week. Until then, thank you all for watching. And may the sands of time treat you well.